Wasn't that wonderful? Give her another hand. That was a great rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. My name is Senator Jason Rapert, and I'm very excited to be here with you today. It's excited to see people from this community come together to celebrate the 4th of July. And actually, as I contemplated this gathering this afternoon, many of you might know that's been involved with the program, I was supposed to fiddle for you exactly right now, but I asked permission, if I could, to take the time that I would fiddle for you, and actually to tell you a little bit about my heart right now for this country. I will be playing for you a little bit later in the program. But when I think about July the 4th, 1776, and the price that was paid, I think about many of the men that were involved in that. And in 1781, just 5 years after the Declaration of Independence was signed, Thomas Jefferson said these words. He said, "I tremble for my country when I remember and reflect that God is just." And he said, "His justice cannot sleep forever." Those words meant a lot to me. Do those words mean something to you? Those words mean something to me. They often quote Tom Jefferson, and they quote him in the Danbury Baptist letter, and they quote his letter where it says, you know, he was speaking about a situation with the Baptists, and he said, he made that quote of separation of church and state. And you know, I've had many people question me about that particular letter and what that might mean for today. And I remind them of one very important thing, Curtis Coleman, and is that we are a nation of laws, not personal letters. You hear what I'm saying? If it was the law of this land, then it would have been made into a law. You won't find any such law in the Declaration of Independence as it was stated. You won't find the law in the Constitution. But as I reflected today, I wanted to tell you that just like Thomas Jefferson, I tremble for my country. I don't have time to tell you everything that's on my heart, but I'll tell you I'm proud to live in the greatest nation that's ever been upon the face of this earth, the United States of America. And I'm going to tell you that I believe in you. I believe that you know what's right. I believe that you are people that understand there is a right and there is a wrong. You understand that there's values to be upheld and protected. But I want to leave you with the last minute of my comments to say that I challenge you this. When I tremble for my country, I tremble because since 1973 in this nation, over 50 million innocent little babies have been killed in our country. I sponsored a bill called the Heartbeat Protection Act. Passed it through the Senate Public Health Committee. I passed it through the Senate floor, and it was killed in the Arkansas House of Representatives in the House Public Health Committee. I simply asked them to consider the fact that if this gentleman fell over dead today with a heart attack, that we would do everything we could to keep that gentleman alive as long as he had a heartbeat. But for some odd reason, we do not take the same measure when we think about a little baby in a womb. At about 4 weeks of age, that little baby has a heartbeat. And I simply would like to see our nation take the same measure to protect the heartbeat of a baby as it would a grown human being, wouldn't you? As I close my comments, I will say, I don't castigate and demonize the people that have the other view. But I believe that each of you, singularly and individually, have a responsibility to speak the truth and to stand up for those in our nation. Of those 50 million, there may have been a doctor that had the cure for cancer. And it's sad to say, when we face a situation right now where Social Security and Medicare is in trouble, folks, if we had those 50 million people working here in the United States today, you wouldn't have the problem they're talking about. So I ask you, as you go forth over the next 12 months, that you pray for this nation, that you stand up for this nation, and as Ronald Reagan said, as long as we remain a nation, one nation under God, we will never be what he forecast, which would be a nation gone under if we ever forget that. So I ask you to stand up for your values, stand up for America, and God bless you.